So the faction wars, I would say one of the most important parts of Raid that not a lot of people are actually focusing on, and this is such a critical thing that you should really do in the game. And today I want to talk about some strategies that you gotta work with, because there is really no strict guide, because you're always gonna have to work with what you got, and sometimes you gotta strategize a bit, especially as a free-to-play player, on what characters to level up and what you wanna do. So before we get into it, I would urge you guys, if you haven't started playing the game yet, or if you just opened a new account but you haven't really progressed much, to create a new one and use my code in the description or the QR code, because you will get the gore immediately, you will get Ugo at level 15, you will also get a whole bunch of things in between, so it's gonna be like boosted leveling. You can also go in with the promo code, you can just type in Monkey King, which is gonna be an awesome code because you're gonna get one of the best legendaries for the start. I've also created my own clan, so if you guys just started, if you're playing the game, I would urge you to join my clan, the Arena Syndicate, that I've literally opened a few days ago. It's still expanding, we're still pushing, but we do need a few more people to be able to progress through some things. So, as I was talking about, we're talking about faction wars. Now, faction wars are, I would say, something, I mean, you got a lot of features in Raid. You got the arena, you got the clan bosses, the Doom Tower, the Cursed City. A lot of these open up very soon, and then it's a problem. I mean, it opens up, but you can't progress through a single floor or through a single bit of this. But faction wars are something that you should really focus on as a starting player, especially in early player, but you should always focus on it. And this is something that you can always progress. I mean, even if you don't have the best teams, even if you have terrible characters, for example, my worst, absolutely worst team that I have, I believe, are these Ogryn tribes. Literally, I don't know if it's some type of a curse or something, but I can't seem to get one single actually good Ogryn tribe character. But essentially, with this, even if you have just started, I mean, you get free keys every day, and then you can just open up. You can do like stage 1, stage 2, and you can just farm this until you progress, until you get better characters. And essentially, one of the dailies that you gotta do. You're gonna get a lot of these. I'm not even certain what they're actually called, like these glyphs that you can add, and these glyphs are super critical, especially if you're building more high-level characters. Like, these glyphs can really pull you through. So what I want to talk about faction wars is that they're a little bit tricky. I mean, a lot of these, like if you're doing Doom Tower or something else, you can find a guide, there's a strategy, there's a thing you can do. But here, it's essentially always dynamic. Like, it always depends on what you currently got going on and whether you can actually utilize it, because essentially you need a team of 5 characters. And if you have terrible 5 characters, you're gonna have a pretty bad time. I mean, as I said, as you can see here with the Ogryn tribes, I wasn't able to do anything. So one of the main things you really gotta do is you gotta get a good team. For example, I have a little bit of 2 extremes going on. So on one hand, currently the dwarves are gonna be crazy. I just got Runda, I just leveled her up, so the dwarves are gonna be crazy. But for the start with the dwarves, as you can see here with my champions, and as I said, I'm a mid-game player, I still haven't finished the stage 21, I haven't opened a whole lot of things, but I got about nearly 20 level 60s, I'm doing decently right now. But previously, one of my main characters was Melga Steelgirdle, and Melga here is a very useful character, S tier epic, one of the best epics in the game. She's an amazing support, she can resurrect, she can put shields. But here's the thing, when you got Melga and you got absolute garbage, other dwarf character that is garbage, yeah, you're gonna progress a little bit because Melga can keep resurrecting them, but you're gonna have a really bad time later down the line, because I was pushing it just with Melga, and then I had like one stage. I'm not even certain what it was because it's not open yet, but it took me 70 minutes to push through it. It was, even though it was easy to get, I mean, Melga is always gonna get, I've got her fully booked and everything, so she was always gonna resurrect it and push it. It was just like draining, like mind draining to go through this. I just kind of abandoned it. I had no time to do it because I was trying to do it with 5 stars. On the other hand, you're gonna have some, for example, here's my Tribune Heracles. He's my main undead character, also one of my main legendaries, an amazing legendary that can even sometimes solo things. A lot of people rank him as A tier, but in my opinion, he's really, really good. So for my undead team, as you can see here, he was really, I think I got to like stage 17, 18 just through Tribune Heraclitus alone, and I was getting good damage, but other than this, I had really garbage characters. For example, this Catacomb Counselor is a pretty bad character. He's an okay epic, but it's one of the first epics that I got when I started playing the game, and I just leveled him up for no reason. There wasn't really much purpose in gearing him up all this way. He's only at level 12 with the items, but yeah, I shouldn't have really wasted him on level 60. But other than this, as you can see my undead team, I got Tribune Heraclitus at 60, I got this guy at 60. Unfortunately, I've also leveled this guy initially. These were my main characters, because when you start the game, you just gotta work with what you got. But as you can see, my undead teams are pretty garbage. I've got the Frozen Banshee, but I still haven't put her to level 60. The gear is bad, so I can't even push it yet. And it's only one level 60 character, but I was able to go through it. But I don't have a single support. None of these characters are actually support. And essentially, when you get into, you can do damage, but one character can hardly push through it. Now, luckily here with Tribune Heraclitus, he has a resurrection, which can actually work really well because you can kind of time it with others and you can keep reviving champions. But if you just got like someone like, for example, let me just sort by rank here. If you got someone like Alice here who can do a lot of damage, I've just got everything almost fully awakened with almost fully upgraded gear. This is, for example, my Sacred Order Crypt. So I managed to get her to a decent high level just pushing through with her. I've got the Armiger, which is specialized for Doom Tower, but essentially without a resurrection, I've got these two guys, this guy that is doing some healing, but without a resurrection character, without a support, it's going to be pretty hard to progress through, and it's also going to be super hard to get 3 stars. And for Faction Wars, essentially, to stop the yapping, I've been yapping for nearly 10 minutes. 2 things you gotta focus on. Ideally, you want a strong damage character, ideally level 60, and you also want a good support. Now, these are like the 2 pillars. Other than this, you can, of course, get a debuffer that's gonna, either a buffer or a debuffer, so someone that's gonna lower the damage, that's gonna lower the defense, someone that's going to increase the attack. This can always be useful. These can be even characters that are level 50. But for the main characters, for the support and for the damager, you're gonna need level 60. I mean, it's gonna be very hard. So I know it's difficult to give you like a perfect formula for an ideal team, because sometimes you're just gonna get garbage characters. You can see here with my Ogre in Tribes, I got these guys, 1 epic, but these guys are absolute garbage. They can't push through anything. But ideally, since you have decently limited resources, you want to focus on actually leveling up a support and leveling a strong damage dealer that is gonna push the team. And then after that, you can kind of add to the team. So you can add a few more characters that are going to increase the attack or decrease the damage. For example, here, this is not the ideal example. I got Alice that is doing a ton of damage. She can nearly solo a lot of these things. But other than this, I mean, it's not really a strong team. I got Alice pushing it. I got Deacon. Deacon is very good, so he's like a debuffer. He can increase my speed. He can also decrease the damage, so works really well with this. This guy works decently. He's only level 50, but he has 2 heals. He has an AoE attack that heals, and he also has a full heal. But it is definitely difficult to progress without the reviver. As you can see here, I mean, I was pushing it really easily with 3 stars just with Alice alone, because I got it through the Alice chase. But after this, it was just 1 star after the 1 star. I mean, you can see the times increasing. Here, I'm not even certain if I tried. I think I failed. But essentially, yeah, I'm going to have to level up a pretty decent support character for this. Now, my brand team is not really good. Once again, I leveled this Alika here. Not exactly ideal. As I said, like when you start, you just gotta go work with what you got. This is one of the first epics I got, so I got her to level 60, but she's not amazing. She can do decent damage, but here teams are also pretty decently garbage. I got this, I believe, Soulbound Bowyer, which is good. I got her in a sleep set, so she can control the waves, but this team is all damage. Like, these 3 characters are almost absolute garbage, and these 2 are doing good, but as you can see, I'm pretty decently stuck. Now, tomorrow, the Dwarf Crypt is going to open, so I'm going to see how I'm going to do, because I've currently got a pretty decent Dwarf team going on. This is going to probably be my best team right now. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. So I've just got Trunda, which is one of the best legendaries that you can get, especially for arena, but also for damage. Still building her up a bit, still finishing up the masteries, but I also got Geomancer, which is literally one of them, probably the best epic in the game. I've got Melga, level 60, and I've also got this guy. Now, I was talking about Dilgal being useful. So far, he's not really all that great, but I've almost finished booking him, so he has some, he can decrease accuracy, which also kind of coincides with Geomancer. Not ideal, but as you can see, I mean, right now I got like AoE guy, I got one guy that is really good for a boss, I got a strong damage dealer, I've got a reviver and a support, so it's going to be interesting to see how far I can push it. Now, as I said, so to kind of sum up some of the tips that you gotta do. So initially, you just gotta work with what you got. So depending on what characters you get, you're gonna have to level up. Some characters are gonna be garbage, but use them. They're going to be useful for a certain time, and then after that, you can discard them. I mean, I've discarded probably a dozen different characters that I've previously built. Now, after this, of course, just do Faction Wars daily. Also do the Tag Arena, because every time you do the Tag Arena, you're gonna finish the quest, and you're gonna get more keys for the Faction Wars. So just do them. If you can't progress, wait a little bit, continue on the other side of the game, and just keep, keep farming this, because you're gonna get the glyphs. Glyphs are gonna enhance your characters. You're also going to get gear. Now, gear can be very useful, because some gear you can only get from the Faction Wars. So you, for example, I've just built this, but you can get from Faction Wars Bloodstone, which is gonna help you build very strong perception gear. And perception gear is like one of those, like, it's budget gear, but it can be very useful even for high game, like end game stuff. So just keep farming the Faction Wars. Even if you don't got a lot of stuff, you're probably not gonna get the Bloodstone from the earlier stages, but just keep farming whatever is available, what is currently going on. Do the dailies, build your characters. So focus on getting a strong damage dealer, focus on getting a healer, reviver, some type of support, ideally also a debuffer or someone that can increase the attack. So essentially like the basics of how combat works in Raid. Now, other than this, as I said, if you guys just started playing, or if you started playing recently but you haven't really progressed, I would urge you to click my link in the description or scan the QR code that you can see on the screen, because you will get the Gore immediately, you will get Ugo at level 15, you'll get a whole bunch of things in between. You can also, if you just create a new account, you can just go in here to the promo code, you can type in Monkey King, and you will be able to get Sun Wukong, which is one of the best early legendaries that you can get. He can progress with you a lot. You can even do PvP with him. He's a pretty useful character. Also, if you guys are playing but you're higher level, or if you just start playing, I would urge you to join my clan. I just created a few days ago the Arena Syndicate. I'm always looking for new members to progress, because I just opened it. It's still needs some, strong members to actually be able to push through some content. So, thanks for watching this video. As I said, do your daily Faction Wars and keep progressing. Focus on whatever characters you got. And also another tip that I forgot to say, once you get characters, don't immediately discard them. Like, search what tier they are, how useful they are, because some characters may be absolute garbage for PvP or PvE, but they can be amazing for Faction Wars and waves. So always, analyze the characters that you got. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.